Okay, hi, I'm Emily Almeida with Remax Rising, and this is House Calls, Curing Your Housing Needs. Today we're going to talk about moving into a new community and just how you get acclimated and become part of that community and make it feel like it's your home. I've got two special guests today. We've got Salil Bhavjakar, he is with ISU, and we've got Jenna Langini, who is here. She works from home, but I'm going to let them talk about how long they've been here, what brought them here, and from where they came.
Sure. I guess I'll start.
Start.
So I'm Salil. I moved here in August. I moved here from Florida after being in Florida for about 11 years, and then I moved to Bloomington Normal to start a job at Illinois State University. So I've only been here a few months, but it's been nice exploring the area. It's been nice, kind of taking some drives down to Champaign, up to Chicago, and getting to see what's out there.
Okay. Jenna?
I moved with my family for my husband's job. I've got 3 daughters. We moved from northern Kentucky. He's a physician at OSF, and my daughters are in elementary school, and one stays home with me, and I work from home.
Okay. So you've been here, like I said, about 5 months, and you have been here not quite that long.
Yeah, about 3.
Yeah, about 3 months. And this is your first winter, correct?
It is my first winter. Yes.
Now I know you were also in Michigan for a time, correct?
I'm from the Midwest.
Yeah, so you're
yeah.
used to the snow and the cold and the
Yeah.
wind. Okay. So how are you finding it?
I mean, so far it's been fine. I really enjoyed fall. It was really nice to have an actual fall where, leaves fall on the ground.
Correct.
And that actually is a thing. Raking leaves, not as much fun. But
Not as much.
the colors are pretty. It was really nice. I guess the biggest surprise was right after Thanksgiving, I come back to just like snow on the ground, and it was nice. It was a really pretty picture. I took a picture of the house and sent it to all my friends and family, and again, it's been fine. I bought some coats, and I'm not hating it so far. We'll see what happens in January, but
That's
so
true.
far we're doing okay.
We have some days that are really kind of challenging to get through, but for the most part, we can survive our winter without problems. So I'm going to ask you, Salil, because I know a little bit about some of your special interests, but you kind of surprised me. I said when he came, I was kind of worried about him that first weekend because he didn't have family here, he didn't have friends here. And I'm like, what are you doing? And he says, well, I'm going to Champaign. I've been hooked up with blah, blah, blah. So I said, I'm not worried about him anymore. So go ahead, tell me about what you did.
So I guess we'll start with a special interest, which is Latin dancing. So in Florida is where that's where I learned to dance salsa and bachata, and then the last about 8 years, I've been teaching there as well. So when I moved here, even before I moved, I tried to just look up the options in the area for dancing, and because I moved by myself and didn't really know too many people here, I wanted to basically what you just said, avoid being like that first weekend, oh my god, what am I going to do, what do I do with my life. So yeah, I found this event. I found this person who told me about this event in Champaign, and I'm like, screw it, like I got nothing to do with it, so might as well go. And I met some people there, and I've been to Champaign about once a month for dancing now. I've been to Chicago a few times as well.
Wow.
So yeah, it's been nice. It's made it a little easier to have things to do here. It's to like fit in and find a community.
So I know we had talked earlier about you wanted to maybe start a group here locally.
Yeah, so
have you had any luck with that?
So I haven't started much here locally just because I wanted to take, these first few months to really settle in. I have taught a little bit. I taught a few classes for the student club at ISU campus. They're called Redbirds and Ritmo. So I think I've taught like once a month. I taught a bachata class for them. Next week, I'm actually going to the Normal Community Center because they have some dance classes there. They're doing ballroom, I think, this month.
Yeah.
But someone told me about that recently, so I'm like, let me go check it out. Maybe that's a good place to start some of these things. Some other people have recommended a few restaurants or bars where I could possibly do stuff. So, December and January is going to be my months to kind of go and visit these places and see what the options are, and hopefully start something when the spring starts.
Do you remember any of the names of any of the places?
I
would assume most of them are downtown
Yeah, so
Bloomington.
one of them was Jazz Up
Jazz
Front, I
Up
think,
Front,
was one of
yeah.
them. Night Shop was another one because they have
Yes.
like a really big floor.
They do.
And the other ones are written down on my phone, but I can't remember off the top of my
Yeah,
head.
yeah, that makes sense though. So very good. Jenna, your story is probably a little bit different
Yeah.
in that you've got those girls that keep you a-going.
My special interests are their special interests at
Correct,
this point.
correct.
We do get out a little bit. I think that he made a good point when he said, just connecting with people. Like for example, I'm an avid knitter, so immediately I'm looking at local yarn shops, and they always have some sort of social event or know, people to put you in contact with for things like that. We also went to Champaign for sporting events. We went to a Illinois football game when they played Michigan State. So we do stuff like that, but otherwise I'm just getting out with cheer for the girls, and my oldest is in orchestra, so she, I know where the middle school is. We've got a connection there.
Is she
The
fourth
music
grade?
shop. Fifth.
She's fifth grade. Okay.
Yeah, so she'll
okay.
be changing schools next
Yeah,
year too.
yeah.
So
Very
we've
good.
been to some high school football games, and the girls had a field trip to ISU, a girls basketball game,
Yeah.
which they had a great time. So we haven't been there yet, but
So is your daughter involved in just the school orchestra right now, or is she
Yeah,
involved
yeah.
in the, because there is a Bloomington Normal Youth Symphony
Oh,
group
okay.
too.
yeah.
My daughter played in all the way through high school. So.
Yeah, she's enjoying it, and I think we'll keep it up. And we have contacts for like private lessons and things like that too. So they really get you out and kind of learning,
Yeah,
where to go and who to talk to about things.
exactly.
So, yeah.
So do you feel like you've made any social connections for yourself through those groups?
Not really yet, and we're so busy. But I would say, I've made acquaintances that have been really helpful as far as just information. I found a preschool for my youngest for next year through one of the girls' teachers at Grove.
Nice,
So,
perfect.
it's just kind of networking right
Yeah.
now, and then whenever we get a chance, Fo and I we like trivia nights.
Oh,
So
yeah.
we were kind of doing that for a while, then got busy with the holidays, but
Yeah, there are lots
So-
and lots of places to play trivia in town.
Where'd you guys go play
Different
trivia?
nights.
Buffalo Wild Wings,
Okay.
right near here, but now they don't do it anymore. So we're actually kind of trying to track down the person who was
Who
doing
was
it there
doing
because
that?
we liked her. Yeah,
Okay,
so
okay.
and like the but we've been to Little Beaver Brewery too and done a trivia there. There's like one every day of the
Yeah, there's
week,
so
so
many.
you
Yeah.
can just stumble upon them.
Right. And I
So-
know Crafted used to do them, and
Oh, okay.
I'm not up on it whether they're still continuing. Joe's Pizza Station did them,
Okay.
and so
Yeah. So that was a fun thing, just for like a little date night or for a couple hours. So.
yeah, excellent.
And you could definitely make a team. You could
Sure.
make a team out of that too.
Sure, and it's a really good way to get to know people that
Yeah,
way as well.
Yeah. You want to get
So-
to know them before you put them on your trivia team, though.
This is
because
true.
You don't want some dead weight, So
You want
I'm a
someone
little
who knows a
competitive
little
about that.
something. Excuse me. I think it's always good to have a multi-generational team as well
Yes.
when you play trivia.
My daughter, sometimes, they've come a couple times, but usually that's our date night.
Yeah.
And then there are certain things, all of a sudden it'll be like the Taylor Swift album, and I'm like, I wish my 11-year-old was here.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So another question for you then is, what about babysitters? I mean, that I think is very difficult when you move into an area.
It is.
It's like, how did you locate people that you trusted to watch and stay with your children?
Well, I'm fortunate because my mother-in-law
Oh, that's right.
followed us here.
That's true. That
So
helps.
we've done that. My sister is in the area, or
Yes.
she's in Chicago. But I think with the high schools and the colleges, it's not going to be a problem, you know,
Right.
when we need somebody. We have neighbors
Yeah.
who have teenage girls, you know, teenage kids. So we haven't had to venture out as far as that goes yet, but
I think that's good.
Yeah.
And then I was thinking too, with Fo's job, he's working with a lot of people who probably have kids that are
Yeah.
babysitting age,
Yep.
and you know, he gets to know the mom or the dad and trusts them.
Exactly. And we've done now a couple social events with his colleagues.
Okay.
So I'm really just kind of getting to know some people, because it's hard when it's the man's colleagues, you know, you don't
Right.
hear a whole lot of it takes a little bit longer.
Exactly.
So,
and I think a disadvantage, I guess, for you would be that you are working at home.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas Salil you've got colleagues in the office.
Yeah.
I mean, you know, he's in the College of Engineering, which they're working very hard to get up and going by next year. So,
Yeah, but we're still on main campus right now, so there's plenty of people around at least.
Right. Very good. Well, some of the things that I know are helpful to do is like just start a routine. Pick your coffee shop where you go to get your coffee, you know, a couple times a week. Talk with the baristas, you know, get to know people like that. You'll find that there are people who are there every week or every day. So you begin to see familiar faces and begin to chat. I mean, I think that's very helpful. I also think that there are lots of special interest groups. If you are on Facebook or Instagram and you can go seek them out, there are a lot of options. I know one that I refer to often for just events in town is the Love It list. It's a private group, but you just ask and you join. But it gives you all kinds of activities that are happening, you know, in the community. So that's always good. And then there are stores that have different things, like Fleet Feet, which I always have trouble saying, Fleet Feet. They have running groups, for instance. You know, they'll do like a couch to 5K, which I should do, but I'm not going to. If you like volunteering, there are all kinds of options for volunteering locally. So that's something that also gives you a chance to meet people who may have similar interests as yours, and gives you a way to kind of begin to meet people socially. And you could do that in all your spare time, Jenna.
No, well, that's actually that, you know, I'd like to get the girls into it too. So we could carve out some time for that. So
it's like, but there are all kinds of opportunities. There's also a website, and it's not local, it is nationwide, but it's called meetup.com. Sounds like a dating site, but it's not. If you go to meetup.com and just put in your area, it gives you kind of a list. It's not a complete list for sure for this area, but there are some activities listed of where you can meet people, what kind of interest you have, some volunteering opportunities. So that's always, I think, kind of a great way to start out and kind of get your feet wet in a new area. And I do think, like with kids, you know, that's where you're going to meet people. I know I moved when I had young kids, and it was like those school people became my social network as well. I would stop. Take that out. I've been suffering from this winter sinus stuff. Pickleball is an activity I know a lot of people are into. There's a huge pickleball group in town. There's also a lot of quilting. I know you said you enjoy knitting. And so I'm sure that there are, you know, knitting groups around, like you said, if you go to some of the local shops. You know, you can get hooked up with people. Joining a gym is a great thing to do.
Should do, that's on the list.
Mine too. I should do that. Should practice what I preach. But it's a really good way because you end up kind of working out with people. People come at the same time, and it's a good way to meet folks and to develop some friendships that way. I think another thing that's really helpful, and I've actually kind of made a commitment to myself to do more of this year, is to take advantage of some of the community education classes offered by Heartland College, Junior College. They're great. I took a class on the women who worked with radium. You know, you're probably very familiar with that, and how they glowed at night and all kinds of strange things. That was really interesting, and that one of the factories was just an hour north of here, and I was totally unaware that had occurred. I also just took a class on the African American history of McLean County, which was really interesting. And there was a woman in there in her 90s who knew everybody and everything. She was so sharp and just a delight, you know, to kind of get to know a little bit. So those are some things. Have you ventured out on anything else other than the dance that you think was helpful?
So I did join a gym, and that has been nice. What else did I do? I've tried to do a couple of different things at different places. I did a couple of the events at Red Raccoon. And I kind of found a group to play some games with over there, which I haven't met them yet. We start next Monday, but fingers crossed, meet some people there. What else have I done? So I think the thing that helped me the most was right when I moved here, I was in an Airbnb for 2 months, right, while I was house hunting. And my Airbnb landlord has been really nice about inviting me to things that she's going to, or some of her current roommates are going to. So like we did trivia a couple of times. So we did music bingo. We were like at a live show last night. So, and then, you know, her friends introduced me to their friends, and that's been like a nice way to like slowly like expand and just meet new people and see who you click with and see what goes from there.
Very nice.
But yeah, in terms of groups, I did look at Meetup, and I noticed there's a lot of book clubs in town.
There are a lot of book clubs in town. That's another really good thing. And I know I actually have a book club that kind of pulled people from different, you know, from kind of different places, and we've put them together and we've clicked. It's been just really fun to do that. So Tom's wife is in it. So so that's always fun. There's another Facebook group called We're In It Together. It's WITT, WITT. And so you could go there, you could go to Nextdoor, put in a request, like who's into knitting, where can I find a knitting group, that kind of thing, and then you'll get responses from the community too. So so I think, you know, the biggest things that is, again, routine, joining some activities, right, just getting yourself out there a little bit, whether it's through kids or whether it's through a gym or whatever, and just kind of making an effort to kind of find those groups. I would say Bloomington Normal offers anything and everything that you're interested in, but you have to seek it out a little bit, I think.
I think just talk to people. Bloomington, now we've been in, I think, 3 states, 4 regions in the last decade, and Bloomington is like the nicest, friendliest people that we've ever met. And I think if you just ask questions, you know, I've got a hairstylist who told me about those community college classes. It's just like, ask everyone. I was at parent-teacher conferences, and you ask the teacher. I think the more you talk to people, the more you'll even find out, you know, they have the same special interest, or, you know, just advice. It feels like a lot of people have been here, maybe grew up here, or have been here for a long time. So There's just resources everywhere, I think.
Yeah, I think I agree with you. And I think exactly just talking to people is a great way. And if I may, and correct me if I'm wrong on this, but I recall that you got hooked up with that group in Champaign with someone you knew in Florida.
Yeah, so
Is
it's
that
actually,
correct?
yeah, it's a current professor at ISU, but she was a professor at University of Florida and actually was a part of the dance community there as well.
Mm-hmm.
And, so when I was coming here, I was just looking up stuff and I found the club and she's the advisor of the club. So I like found her LinkedIn and I'm like, wait a minute, she has some common people I know from Florida. And so they got me in touch and she, introduced me to things here. But I kind of resonate with that as well. People here have been very nice, and if you ask them, they'll give you tons of ideas and
Mm-hmm.
options. I think the main thing is just to get out there and try to find them, and you probably will.
Yeah, exactly. Well, I think we've given you some great ideas for how to begin to get yourself acclimated into new community. Of course, as a realtor, I think we can bring some information about places to go and things to do as well. So don't be afraid to just reach out and ask. I want to thank my special guests today, Jenna and Salil. Thank you for your information. I think what you shared is going to be very helpful for other people coming in to our community. So be sure to follow me on Instagram, Facebook, follow my podcasts, watch for my next episode. You can find me on YouTube and soon Spotify.